Well, you can tell that Smoky's done moved a little bit. Got some mud on the track frame and all that good stuff. Got a spot where I've been playing around with a little bit. So the machine, it tracks back and forth, no problems there. Right steering clutch is still having some issue, but it does work. Left one works pretty good. We've got to address some issues that I'm having right now. One, the head gasket's leaking. I don't know, it didn't, when I put the head on, it didn't feel 100% right, but I thought that it was fine. You know, it was just in my imagination. Well, it turns out it wasn't. So we've got to take the head back off. I've got a head gasket for it. All the stuff that we've fixed has been doing well, like where the crack is in the block. Not a drop of water's leaked out of there, but it is leaking externally. The other problem we've got, and this is all in the head gasket, I'm pretty sure, we're getting compression in the radiator. So it's got to be leaking past there somehow. Let's see what else. Oh, we're gaining oil. That's an issue, I think. Just pull it and show you. Now, I don't think that's water. I'm pretty sure that's fuel. But I can't smell a real big diesel smell to it. But it don't smell like oil. I don't know. But I'm fairly certain that's diesel. So the injection pump's got to come back off. That's the only place it could be leaking. So we're gonna crank it up and pull it in the shop. It's supposed to rain all this week. So she fires up good, even with the injection pump problems it's having. So I'll crank it up and we'll get ready to move it here in just a minute. I gotta fix the exhaust manifold. If you can tell, it's got a gangsta lean to it. One of the bolts broke off in it. So more issue, but same old crap, different day, I guess is the right word to say it. But we'll fire it up and I'll let y'all watch it track and all that kind of good stuff, so you'll actually get to see it move. So let me get y'all set up. Alright, let's see if she'll crank up good. Here. Contact. Well, as you can tell by the stream of antifreeze, if y'all are a fan of the channel, y'all know that this here is where we broke Neil again when I put the clutch in backwards years ago. So it's only fitting that Smoky gets to get here too. Oh, anyways, you'd think I'd be a decent mechanic by now, but nope. Anyways, I'm gonna let her cool off a little bit, and I'll get the exhaust manifold off and start getting the air cleaner and junk off, and then we'll pull the head back off, see what the matter is. But yeah, she's blowing water out of her overflow tube up here. If I crank it, you can immediately start hearing it have pressure. We might can even hear it now. Hear that? I mean, it ain't been running long enough to get that hot. So, yep, she's definitely blowing compression back into the radiator. And I got a fuel leak, apparently. I think it's this injector. And a bunch of other crap. But other than that, it runs kinda. Not real good, but it does. So, anyways, let me quit jawing and I'll get after it here in a minute. Hopefully I can get a good shot for y'all. Ain't nothing like working on stuff again. Oh. I guess the head gasket stayed with the head. Okay, the only thing I can see that's obvious is this felt stuff has come away from the head gasket, but that's probably just because it's stuck to the block. If you see these holes clogged up like this one, this is dike. I had to put some dike in for the radiator, but yeah, I'm not seeing anything obvious other than the felt coming off. And it could have been just a defective head gasket. I mean, that's very possible. But I mean, everything looks okay to me. I mean, other than the tearing of the head gasket. I was concerned that it's these dial pins here. It's very possible they might have got a little messed up when I was working on the head, and I'm gonna shine them up real good and make sure that everything's copacetic. I might even measure these holes, see how they're kind of gunky looking. Yeah, that in there might need some little tender loving care. It looks like there's a ridge on there, like it didn't seat all the way. That's very possible. That might be the culprit after all. So yeah, I'll do a little, see that one did the same thing, like it didn't seat all the way. There's a ridge in there. I'll measure them and make sure they're not standing out too deep. But you got to remember, this head did not come off this bulldozer. If you're thinking about that, I had to get another head because number 2 cylinder was cracked all to hell. So I'm gonna do some measuring and some figuring. I mean, it looked like it was sealing up good here on the rings where the piston liners go. I'm gonna let my dad look at it and see. He knows more about this stuff. I'm not gonna touch it now, I don't think. I'm just gonna leave it exactly the way it is. I'll get some expert opinion. But yeah, everything else seems to be okay. We'll clean it up good and put another head gasket on it and check the dial pins and stuff. I'm gonna check for flatness too on this block. Alright, that'll work. Well, we've jumped forward quite a bit, but I got her going. This is the best she's ran since I've got it going. She's still got a pile wrong with her, but we'll do a little power test here. I should have got doing that dirt right there, but you get to see a little bit of it. So let me get y'all set up and show you how good it ain't. anyways, guys, here's old Smoky in all of his glory. As you can tell, it pushes, it runs, it does stuff. Not great, but it's doing it. And the more I use it, I'm noticing it's getting a little bit more limbered up. I don't know if y'all could tell, but the right steering clutch was working really well on it. No problem with the drivetrain far as like the mechanical part of it. Okay, so a couple of big issues I'm having in the drivetrain. The power shuttle in this thing is still got a ton of water in it. I've changed the fluid twice in it, and I'm still getting a lot of water. So I just have to do it a little at a time. I should have rinsed all that out when I had it apart, and I didn't. I thought that we'll get the majority of it and then deal with it, which I still am, but it's the way it goes. But anyways, that you may have noticed, like sometimes that it would speed up and then it would slow down. That's that water in that in the shuttle part of it screwing up. It was a lot worse than that. It's significantly better, but I gotta fix the shifter top, and I'm sure there's some other stuff, and I've been putting cover on it when I ain't been using it. So the other big issue is y'all saw the motor, all that haze that you saw, that's definitely blow by. So when I was first breaking the motor in, I didn't know it when the head gasket screwed up, but I had no temperature gauge in it. I was just screwing around with it, trying to more or less break the motor in, and I hadn't ran it probably 30 minutes, and it was sitting there running, and it was doing fine, and wasn't no issues, and I started seeing a lot of blow by, and I said, what the heck, what's going on here? And I went to shut the engine down, and it seized. Like it didn't seize while it was running, but when I went to kill it, it how most engines, when you cut them off, they'll turn a couple of revolutions. Well, she turned like one and then stopped, and I said, oh no. And I let it cool off a little bit, and it cranked back up. It had no problem, but it still had a lot of blow by. So that's when we actually took the head back off of it to see what had happened. The cylinders were scratched. You couldn't feel it with your fingernail, but they were visible. We pulled the pistons back out of it. We couldn't find anything wrong with the rings or nothing. So we put it back together, basically, and I think it will never seat, basically. Now it would take another engine kit, and to be honest, I ain't got the time right now to do it. I'm just going to run it as it is for the time being. It's like I said, it's doing stuff. It's just it definitely still hurting, but hey, it's better off than it was. But anyways, I'm going to continue to use it. I hope y'all enjoyed this little series. This is as far as I'm going to take it right now. I don't have the money to put into it. As you can tell, the shop building here is main priority right now. So maybe in a year or so, when things get a little bit more calmed down, I'll spend a little bit more time on it, a little bit more money on it, and see if we can't get some more stuff worked out of it. But knowing me, if I ever do restore it, the backhoe, like Neil over yonder, he's restored, just don't look like it. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. Leave a comment down there if you enjoyed the series, and hopefully this old iron, you'll get to see it in some other videos. Till next time, y'all take care and God bless.